Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And this is another massive news week, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It was massive on Monday.
There's a good chunk of news on Monday, and news kept coming out throughout the week, and then Thursday night, Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
And it was like a meaty Direct. There's a bunch of stuff in there, and
yeah, as opposed to their. I think we're used to their Smash Brothers Directs, where it's like there's really 2 bits of news,
right?
And we're gonna stretch it out for you.
Stretch it out.
Speaking of Nintendo,
yes.
So Nintendo's decided they're going to create a Nintendo Select discounted games, which I do find it. I'm glad they're doing this, but I do find it funny that we have to talk about this because Nintendo is famous for keeping their prices as high as possible to milk the market.
They just leave their prices at the top, and they're like, these are still good games.
Yep.
Play them.
Yep. Was it Twilight Princess? I think it was like 2 years afterwards was still $60.
Yeah.
And they'll keep them up there as high as possible the entire time.
They have dropped some.
Hyrule Warriors right now is $60 still.
Yep.
And that game didn't even sell very well. So some of the games that were listed on there though were Ocarina of Time. Mm-hmm. Cool with that. So Mario Galaxy 2, not 1. Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Breeze. That alone is really cool.
Those games are excellent.
Yeah. Oh, and Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS. Mm-hmm. Or 3D. So there's some good stuff. I'm hoping that they'll keep doing this regularly, and it really shouldn't be news that a company is cutting the price of a game because this happens all the time. It should
after a game's been out for a little bit, then the price drops. If you go into PSN or something, and the regular price for Watch Dogs, because you were talking about a game released 2 years ago. Watch Dogs is about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. The regular price for it is like $30.
Yeah,
it's like if you bought this right when it came out, you pay full price. You're on the cutting edge in the first group of people playing it. Cool.
Yeah.
If you didn't buy it right away, they kind of need to do something else to make it appealing to people who were like, oh, this game's out.
I don't think it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're still charging full price because you have added all your DLC or a bunch of new content, or if you completely remastered the game,
well, like what they're doing with Splatoon and Mario Maker, those games have continued to evolve over time, and they've continued to support them. So, like, if you buy Mario Maker now, you're getting a better deal than I did when I bought it at launch.
That's actually true. Yeah.
And like that's a thing. Sure, leave that price up. Yeah. But for the most part, these are like Mario 3D World came out how long ago?
3D World?
And that's on the list, and that was one of the ones that they were like, hey, it's a price cut. You can buy it for cheaper, which my girls call it Cat Mario. I want to play Cat Mario, which is fun, and they like the things. they do get really scared at the giant boo. Is like Nora actually like put her controller down and went nope.
Oh wow!
And so I had to pick them up and physically carry their carry their characters past that part and get to the next door, and then we poofed through, and it was like okay, which is funny because like. And you can feel free to criticize my parenting in the comments, but like they watched they watched me play like Binding of Isaac and some of Dark Souls 2. Like I would preview the bosses before they got to see those, but like they understand the concept of like zombies, and like there's all these different things that are not scary to them, but this giant white cartoonish ghost was them. Because and I think it was because everything is so cute, there's this giant contrast between that and this big thing with fangs that's 5 times bigger than them, and they're actually playing it.
Yeah.
So
I can see where that would scare you.
But when did 3D World come out?
2.5 years ago.
Yeah, that's
2.5 years ago.
And this is the price drop. Anyway, we're glad they dropped the price. Maybe check and see if there's something on there that
so the Deliverance Kingdom Come is going to be delayed on PC because it's not ready for consoles yet.
Right.
Which I find funny because if it's ready for consoles, they usually don't care about PC.
Right. Well, it was a Kickstarter thing, and this is the hyper realistic Bushido blade type thing where you get injured and you can be stabbed easily, like
realistic medieval fighting.
Yeah, which sounds awful. This one is not for me, I don't think. But anyway, so they did like the Kickstarter and they did their rounds of funding and everything, and they got it just about ready for PC release. And Bandai Namco is stepping in and they're publishing the console versions because it's a bit more tricky to get that.
Sure.
And so they were like, hey, can you hold off on this so that we can do a simultaneous release on all the platforms? And they're like, okay, you're willing to help us out with this, and cool. Yeah. So that's coming out.
I just find it to be an interesting double standard because if it was the other way around, it wouldn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as we've seen with Arkham Knight and other games, the PC is just an afterthought usually.
Well, but there's also like a bunch of the things that I'm excited about, like Afterbirth. We still don't have Afterbirth.
Yeah.
And games like Darkest Dungeon and like a lot of indies show up on Steam first.
Yeah.
And then gone home.
Yeah.
We didn't get that for like a year and a half. And that was a huge PC game.
Yeah, for indies, yeah. I mean, I can see that.
And this is an indie.
Is it? I thought it had.
No, it was Kickstarter.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of like a ripoff. I mean,
so
yeah, that's messed up.
So speaking of things cross-platforming,
yeah, which I also are messed up. Harmonix wants funding for Rock Band on PC.
Yeah. That seems like a really small audience because Rock Band is like the social you play that in the living room.
You do.
So
you do, and that's such a small audience, which is obviously why they're probably not going to get very much funding on this.
And Rock Band didn't do particularly well either.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. PC is a social environment. Don't get me wrong. PC is a social environment, but usually it's a social environment because you're online.
Yeah.
And Rock Band, you can play those kind of games online, but trust me, it's not as appealing.
Yeah, and that's not what I think of when I think of Rock Band. I think of inviting a bunch of people over or going over to somebody's house and we're gonna play. I got the drums.
Yeah,
and that's a lot more fun.
It really is.
And so I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, I also in college played Beatmania, which is the keyboard version of Dance Dance Revolution. So next topic.
So Forza 6, Apex, and Beyond is coming to PC. Beyond is coming to PC as a free-to-play platform.
Yes.
Which I haven't looked at all the details on this, but I can guess that's free-to-play, free-to-pay. I mean, that's kind of how these usually are. But I think it's kind of cool because the Forza games have had microtransactions in at least the past one, where it was a little ridiculous. Forza is a really fun racing game, and I think this is a really good way to say, okay, if you want to play it a little bit, here you go. If you want to kind of boost yourself up, here's some, pay some money.
Well, most of the things that I've seen in my research, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but most of the things that I saw were like you can get the Porsche line, and you get like 5 different Porsches, or the Lamborghinis, or the Ferraris, or whatever, and you buy like the super high end cars, like the cars that you wish you could have in real life.
Sure,
but you can pay $10 and you can play it in the game, and I appreciate that. And this is more of because Forza is done by Turn 10, I think
so,
which is a Microsoft company.
Yeah,
and so this is them continuing to push out, hey, we want to have PC players be able to access the stuff that the Xbox people have.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do we're going to do the segment later on about the UWP and Tim Sweeney and all that stuff. That's going to be kind of a breakout because that's more of a discussion.
Sure.
But they are able to do this really easily because of that program. Because they can build it for Xbox, and then they just copy paste and move it over to Windows, and it plays.
Exactly.
And that is their objective, and they want to promote their products and make make gaming easier for people who want to play and just have their buy a game and have it wherever you want to play it.
Sure.
Which Sony's been doing for a long time with a lot of different things, but they don't have this nearly ubiquitous software platform on PC, which is Microsoft's advantage. Speaking of Microsoft, Killer Instinct Season 3 is coming out March 29th, so like a week or so.
Yeah, we mentioned Arbiter already. Arbiter is going to be added to the list on there. We're also getting Tusk, which I immediately thought of the Kevin Smith movie and not this. But
no, you do not get a walrus.
I want a walrus. So and Kim Woo and Rash. I'm not familiar with those as much. So
Rash Battletoads.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm curious about that one. I want to see him fight the Arbiter and get skewered. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. We did this with the games the Gold Plus roundup previously, but I really wasn't a fan of Killer Instinct for the Xbox One. Let me know if you guys are having fun with it, because to me it was not appealing as a fighter or as anything else.
Yeah. These are interesting characters,
sure,
and I think it's funny that I do think it's kind of cool that they're bringing in a bunch of IPs from all over the place and just kind of making their own like mini Smash thing.
Sure. Well, Mortal Kombat's kind of doing that as well.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat, you have
Mortal Kombat is pulling from all this different stuff.
Yeah.
Microsoft is like the stuff that they're putting in there is their stuff that they own.
Sure.
And that's why the comparison is closer to Smash for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So speaking of combat, though.
Yes. So please explain this one.
So Minecraft had an update earlier last week and came out really quick, and they announced it as you got it. So they redid combat.
Why now?
They redid combat. Now people are saying, "Oh, it completely changed changed combat." Not really. Basically, the way combat worked before is you could just keep hitting the attack button, and you keep swinging your sword. And now, your first swing does some damage, and your subsequent swings, if you're not waiting, do hardly anything. Which makes sense, because if you're just going, it doesn't really do anything, as opposed to an actual
when I'm pixelated, it does.
It really doesn't. I think the biggest reason for this is because skeletons in the game were, as long as you could get in there quick, you could just keep hitting them. Hit them 4 times and you're done. And if you're at a distance, then it's a little challenging. But I really think that's the only reason they made this change.
Okay.
The bigger change, in my opinion, on this is the fact that you can hold something now in your offhand, because previously you just had one hand and you pickaxed. Now you can hold something while you pickaxe. You can hold a map. You can hold a torch.
Can you hold another pickaxe?
Yes. Yes, you can, but you can't swing both.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about a shield?
Yes. Okay. And the shield will help that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they did the F button, which is right next to your D if you're doing WASD. Obviously, you're going to be doing that. So the F button will switch between the two. So if you the biggest thing that
F tap.
Well,
can you do that?
You can.
Okay.
Because you keep switching, but the problem is you're switching so quick that your hits are not going to be not really going to be worth it. But the biggest thing for me with that was it may not seem as cool, but I have a sword in my offhand, and I have a pickaxe in my main hand, or axe or whatever, and I'm picking stuff. And then when I realize, oh no, there's monsters, swap, kill.
So do you swap, or do they let left-handed? Come on, Link's left-handed.
I know.
Left-handed people are cool.
I know. It's literally oh. Yeah, it's decent. I like it. They have added a couple animations in there, so it's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So Fallout 4 had a settlement update as well for settlements.
Yeah.
So improving settlements.
Yeah, so now you can make like a super mutant themed settlement or a raider theme. Like because like when you go to the super mutants place, then you're gonna see like the meat bags and stuff, which are great sources of bones.
Yes, they are.
Which bones are used for? What is it that I'm always using bones for? I don't know, but you can take that out of context if you want. But yeah, so it's more decorative stuff. I'm curious if, because like I read this. And this is coming shortly. I'm hoping that it'll make the happiness thing make more sense, because I still can't figure out the happiness thing, and like there's everybody just seems to be like, maybe this worked for me, and then 4 comments of that didn't work for me, 3 comments of it did, and then nobody really seems to understand the way that this system works. And I would really like to hear them come out on that.
I agree.
But yeah, you can make more disgusting and awful settlements if you want. If that's what you're into, you make it.
I like that they're adding themes to it, because otherwise all your settlements can look exactly the same, or you can't customize it based on how your like character personality and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think it's kind of cool, because then you can, because like for me, what's happening in the game is only part of what's actually happening. I have all these backstories and things that I'm creating the world in my head, and so in my mind, this enables you to create your own vault system, and you're like, all right, this is the raider vault, and I do, maybe after they do the arena system, then I'll make a raider settlement and have like a Mad Max or Fight Club style thing, cool. and create like a Coliseum and arena. That's what I'm going to use this for. So it's more options for settlements. Cool.
I like options. It gives them different looks other than just the actual layout. It gets a different feel for different areas. So I like that. Then again, you are building all of them, so they'd all have your kind of signature touch to them. But
my signature touch of garbage, and then this one section that is for me.
Yes.
These are my shops. This is my power armor. This is my house.
And the rest is
and then
trash.
The rest just goes over somewhere else.
Speaking of updates,
turrets everywhere.
Lots of turrets. Speaking of updates, another update. Metal Gear Solid 5 got an update.
Yes.
You can play as Quiet now. And Quiet's cool.
And this is in the online one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if you guys are playing, if anyone's still playing that. They've tried a couple times to kind of boost people to play it. It's cool. I mean, they're adding more gestures and outfits. And I don't know why
Did they give Quiet an outfit?
She has a couple outfits. They're all just as skimpy as the others.
And there's story reasons.
Because she breathes through her skin.
Yep. So continuing with we're just this is the update episode. I think that's
lots of them.
We'll just call it update.
Yeah,
the update episode. The PS4 update is going to have party stuff, like you can make bigger parties and see things and whatever. The 2 big things for me were remote play on PC and Mac, which is awesome.
Very cool.
And then appear offline,
yes,
where you don't have to talk to nobody.
Yes.
Which I'm pretty sure means that I'm not going to see any of Colin Moriarty's activity anymore, because he doesn't
want people to know.
No, and he doesn't want to talk to me or people, and I get that.
Yeah.
And just kind of zone into your own little thing.
I kind of like that too, but the thing that bothers me is if I'm watching a movie or Netflix and it pops up because people are trying to, people will message me or
invite or log in.
Yeah. And I feel antisocial that I just don't reply. Because I'm not...
I'm watching a movie.
I'm watching a movie. Yeah. I don't want to...
You can text me.
You can text me, yeah. So, I'm sorry, I don't want to play Rocket League. I like Rocket League, but I'm watching a movie right now. So
And I can't do both.
No, you can't. Well, you could, but you'd have to use another system.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying you'd have to use another system. Well, no, you can't run them both at the same time. You'd still have to use a system. You'd have to watch the movie on your Xbox while you remote play on your Vita some Rocket League. Which I could do.
All the devices.
Which I could do, but
and then Xbox is also I'm in the PS4 beta for this update. So don't ask me questions.
Yeah, we'll tell you about it later.
I'll tell you later. Xbox is also getting an update. They're getting a specialized achievement section, which is cool because we're talking about trophies and achievements and stuff, and so and that's going to be a lot bigger and more. Because I think they're going to have the compare thing now, which I really like on PlayStation.
I do like that on PlayStation.
You can pull up your list of trophies for a game and a friend's list right next to it. And so I was helping Cameron get the platinum for Rocket League.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this one this is how you get this one. And some of them, because some of them you're probably not going to get on accident.
Oh, no.
Because it's decals and put in this thing and turn on this thing and whatever. And so we kind of went through and checked off all the boxes.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also, it's a good update, and also I think it's a really great example of how competition helps. Mm-hmm. Because if you didn't have this other guy doing something that you can kind of halfway copy, to say, okay, that works. Let's do that
you can look at what other people are doing and be like
copying, by the way. Yeah.
Well, but you can look at what somebody else is doing and say, okay, is that something that our users would appreciate? Okay, yeah. So. Yeah, and we already talked about that, but it's out now. And one of the other things that they didn't announce, but is in there, is now the 360's backward compatible games are just up on the store with everything else,
which is cool. Because they weren't on the store via Xbox One before.
Right,
you had to do it on the PC. Mm-hmm. So it was
send it to the Xbox One.
You do it on your PC, but if you already have it purchased, then you can go into the games that you could install. But if you want to buy a game, you have to go on your PC.
So the whole thing is much simpler now, and that's happy.
So in non-update news,
but in backwards compatible news,
I'm gonna butcher the name. Carcassonne. Okay, what?
Carcass One.
So that's a strategy board game that was on Xbox 360s, now backwards compatible to Xbox One.
Yep,
and it's fantastic.
It's tiles and cards and things.
Yeah, which sounds cool. Yeah. And I would say a couple years ago, if someone told me, "Oh, you're playing a board game on a console," I just laughed at that, like the Monopoly game on Wii. Why? But now
Mario Party with the mini games, though.
Yeah, Mario
Party can be fun.
Yeah, but now I'm playing Hitman Go, and addicted to Hitman Go, which is essentially a board game on. Yeah,
it's a mobile board game.
Yeah, it's a mobile board game, and it's
now giant and on the TV,
which is really fun though.
Yeah,
I'm really liking it.
So things that might be fun. Vampire has been revealed, and I'm just going to pronounce it that way.
Yeah, that's how I pronounced it.
So Don't Nod is the group that did Life is Strange and stuff, and this is their next thing, and this sounds awesome. This sounds like a heck of a lot of fun. We don't know a whole lot about it. We just have a couple of screenshots now, but they're working on this, and it's going to be like a decision game where you're figuring out who you're going to feed off of, but you're trying to stay hidden and not be revealed as vampiric.
Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot about it, but this looks like a lot more fun to me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Speaking of weird things, it's still kind of weird. So HoloLens, which we talked about last year as well, the whole VR thing, which is kind of VR, but it's augmented reality.
Yeah.
So the dev kits are going to go out March 30th for this. So we'll probably start hearing little bits from people leaking out around the summer. It could be interesting. It could be a really interesting augmented reality thing. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But.
And I appreciate that Microsoft has been doing a bunch of different stuff, because they had like we never got the Illuma room.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. The Illuma.
But the thing is that they're exploring different, because VR there's several companies doing VR. Microsoft is one of them who is very heavily invested in this. But they're also doing a bunch of other things that are similar to, but not exactly VR. And I like that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that they're looking to expand the concept of what gaming looks like.
Sure.
And so that's cool.
I wish I'd gotten a living room, because that was like
that was cool.
Kind of the ambiance, and would have been really cool to do that. But I don't know. I would have enjoyed it. Another thing, speaking of Microsoft, though, is Phil Spencer has been discussing upgradability of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which I find really interesting, considering the architecture. Xbox One's relatively simple when it comes to adding memory, because it's an external hard drive.
You can just expand plug.
Which I guess
I have upgraded my Xbox.
I guess that's now what you'd be able to do. I mean, it would have to be something that's USB, because there's not a lot other than that.
Well, he's talking...
Unless you go into a Microsoft store and have them do it for you.
Yeah. What the way that I understand it, it seems like it's going to be like new SKUs, where they just release the Xbox 1.5.
Yeah.
And which... Like you just get the Xbox 1.5.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like a new model of the console. And I was hoping, like when he was first talking about this, I was hoping it would be like the N64, the memory expansion, where you just
which is what I thought of too.
Plug.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome if I could upgrade my console every year or two with a $50 to $100 thing. Heck yeah, I will absolutely do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know about buying a new version of the same console that I have.
So it's like the new 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah, which my biggest problem is if you're changing it subtly like that, you either might as well be a PC or just wait and launch a new console. Because it's going to get really confusing for people.
Yeah.
For the casual gamer, and for the moms and grandparents and whatever who are buying a game, and they don't realize, oh, this is a slightly darker version of green on this case versus this case.
So. The thing that he said is that the games will continue to run. Like as long as this console generation is going, then whatever games are put out for the Xbox 1.5 or whatever, they will still run on your Xbox One, but they maybe won't be as pretty.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
So it's
also
like,
while we're on this topic, is their next one going to be the Xbox 2? What are they going to do with it? Because they've kind of painted themselves into a corner here with Xbox Zero, and then do you go to negative? Like it was a weird thing, but I didn't have a podcast to talk about it when they named this. And where do you go from here?
All right, my prediction is they're going to call it something like Xbox.
The new Xbox.
Oh,
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, I know this is like 10 years from now. Right, probably 8 years before we hear about it, but
prediction 2020.
2020. Okay.
That it'll be a while. If we're still around in 2020.
I could see that. I mean, it's still a shorter lifespan than that they've been discussing before. So,
well, and maybe with the incremental upgrades, it'll last longer. But
yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Speaking, we'll see how it goes. Disney Infinity 3.0 is expanding some stuff.
Yes, they're not doing 4.0, which is weird because it used to be like up until now it's been every year you get a new
here's
full number.
Yeah, and with that full number, here's your set of things.
Yeah,
like
I don't know why they didn't call it 3.5 or something.
3.5 would have worked, but I guess the way that they've worked. So the first one was just a bunch of Disney stuff, and the second one was all right, we're adding Marvel, and the third one was we're adding Star Wars. And now adding Zootopia and other things. So now they're adding things after the fact, which they hadn't done before. So as soon as I saw that, I said, something's up here. Because I didn't expect them to release something that's such a new IP on a version that was already out. Inside Out and Star Wars were pretty much the only thing on 3.0.
Yeah.
Which are fun, but Which I'm glad they're doing that because it is getting... I have Disney Infinity, and I've been in stores and listened to kids try to explain to their parents, no, that's this version, no, that's this version. And then a parent arguing with the guy who, like, as if the 19-year-old selling the stuff was, like, trying to scam him. You mean I bought this stuff and it doesn't work for this? And... yeah.
I don't know. In some ways gaming treats us like we're super dumb, and in other ways they expect people to be experts on this crap.
They expect you to keep up with everything, and some people don't do what we do. So,
but
if you watch our show, then you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, you can be among the more highly educated people.
Exactly. And you won't look like a dunce when you're talking to people in the video game section of your favorite big box store.
Be informed.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of information you can use if you so choose. Uncharted has again been delayed.
Yes.
May 10th is the new release date. They said that they were having problems with manufacturing. They want to release it simultaneously everywhere in the world, which
I'm completely fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Release the digital one. Let everybody play it digitally. Anyway,
that's an easy way to do it.
But the thing about this is the fact that they want to release it simultaneously worldwide. like the name of the game is A Thief's End.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something like way bigger than anybody expects with this game. I think there's going to be a huge twist in the story, and it's going to be because like a lot of it has been like they haven't, spoilers, they haven't permanently killed anybody even when it looked like they were killed.
Yeah. And
so
it's always been the classic 1980s action movie.
It's a pulp action. Yay, we're doing a thing. So I think based on this, without any other information, I think that this means that Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is going to go hardcore into like a story twist thing that they haven't leaked yet, nobody knows about, and they want to shock the world with it.
That'd be cool. If that's the reason, that's cool. Yeah. I'm already on board with delaying it and make sure everything's released at the same time.
Like, just do it.
Exactly.
When I'll play it when it comes out, and don't give me a broken one.
Yeah. Speaking of playing it when it comes out, because I played this when it came out.
Moo.
Diablo 3. They discovered another cow level.
Yeah, they put in a tribute cow level for one of the developers passed away, and they. For the month of March, this second secret cow level is available.
Yes. So you can go back to playing Diablo 3 and check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I really like that. It's touching. It's really cool they're doing that.
Did you hear about the Halo tribute map?
No, I didn't.
One of the devs had I think it was daughters or something that died in a house fire.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they put up in the sky above one of the arenas, they put like their names and pictures or something, and it was weird that they did it there.
Yeah.
But I like that. I also like I don't know how many of you watch credits, and this is kind of steering it back toward a positive thing, but
sure.
In credits, a lot of times they'll have like babies. They'll have the babies that were born during development.
Yes,
and that's awesome. I love that.
I love that because these people are spending years of their life on the game.
Yeah.
And other things happen in
real
their
life happens.
Yeah, real life happens.
Yeah.
And really big moments happen like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's and it'll be like it's the flame over babies.
Yep.
Except there's only one. But yeah, it's fun and cool and stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun and cool and stuff,
Rocket League!
Yes. I'm excited about this because I have not been able to find somebody like really amazing to watch at Rocket League. It's just most of the time it's just people I'm having fun playing Rocket League, and that's cool and everything, but I want to see like the high end, top tier, the people that really know what they're doing. And like there's a guy I was playing with the other day, or girl. Guys is
So if you're in the north, that's a completely like gender neutral thing.
Okay.
So Northerners know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I was playing with this guy, and he like 3 different times in the game, he would rocket up into the air and then knock the ball down.
That's
with the nose of his car, crazy. and I just sat like I'll be honest, I didn't contribute a lot for the rest of the game. I was just watching him do his or her, because that's not gender neutral.
No, it's not.
I was watching them do their thing, and it was amazing. And I would love to see 6 people at that level of skill playing against each other.
Yes,
that sounds awesome.
That would be really cool.
So the actual story here,
yeah,
Rocket League qualifying, they're going to have like a $75,000 top prize for the Rocket League championships. It starts March 25th, and I am excited.
That's very
This is the first time I've ever been excited about an esports thing.
Same here.
This looks like so much fun.
Yeah, I'm usually not into esports because I'm not into MOBAs. I've tried them, but I'm excited about this because I feel like Rocket League, even a casual viewer watching it can get a good understanding of what's going on. One thing that I would be really would like to see, unless this is part of the game and I haven't seen it, a spectator mode that essentially shoots it as if you're watching a live, like if you're watching it on TV.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So to be able to follow follow the ball, not behind the player, but follow the ball. And I mean, they already have the ability to do this with the replay stuff. So essentially that kind of camera angle, following what's going on. So if there's a big pass, then you get a camera switch to show another angle.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
I think
then I could watch something like this and get a really good aspect of everything going on.
Yeah. I think part of the reason that hasn't happened is because the camera intelligence would need to be super high end to get the right angle on what's about to happen.
Sure.
And a lot of it, like even if somebody was controlling it really, really well, like a lot of these you don't know where it's going until the last possible second. So,
but even if it was anchored on kind of like they used to do in NFL, it was right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
And here, and then here, and then here. Even if it was and then when something happens, replay. Show me exactly the same replay you show. That would be cool, because then if I could spectate someone's match, or I could spectate an esport, and actually understand what else is going on, as opposed to saying, I want to watch this one person. I'm not into NASCAR, but you can, like, I don't know if you guys know this. Apparently, you can go to certain channels and go in, like, see just a view of this person in their car. So if you have a specific driver, you could do that. Which is the opposite of what I want here, because if you were doing that with Rocket League, that's all you would do. If you were like, I want to spectate on your matches, and I would see all your stuff that you were doing, but I wouldn't see the stuff that's going on over here.
Yeah, but with their camera, you're going to see what's going on anyway.
If you target the ball. Some people don't.
Well, you have to turn that off sometimes, but most of the time you're aimed at the ball.
Yeah, that's how I play. I know people who do not like it at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they want to drive as if they're driving, and then they just kind of keep track of it as they go.
Huh.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, so Jeremy, bring us spectator mode.
Yeah.
We want it.
It would launch this as a viable esport that anyone can jump in and watch.
Well, see, my thing right now, and I know I said this a second ago, I just want to be able to find the really good players, and I will watch an entire match from behind their car.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
if you know the player,
that's a thing.
I agree. What also is a thing is the Star Wars DLC for Battlefront.
Yes.
Which
they're bringing Greedo and
Nyub.
Yeah. Okay.
So my favorite bit of this was, I think they were trying to mess around, and I know some other people have talked about this as well, but in the promo it says play as iconic heroes, which I think is funny because neither one of them are very iconic.
Old hero Greedo.
One of them is iconic for dying, and the other is iconic for laughing while Lando flies.
Okay, did you think he was way shorter than this?
No. Did you?
Yeah.
I think it's more of a perspective thing, just because he's kind of wide.
I guess.
It's just me. But the way that they wrote on their website, new playable hero characters will have you shooting first with Greedo. Or targeting foes with precision as Nyub. So I know that was a joke, and I guess the idea is, okay, now you can shoot first. Because obviously Greedo didn't shoot first, Greedo didn't shoot at all. And then they added it later. Yeah. But I guess the idea is they're trying to say, now you can shoot.
On that note, the Wookiee Roars on Twitter is Peter Mayhew, and he tweeted out the script.
Yeah.
That shows that it's just a shot.
A shot, and it's Han Solo.
Because what they have is it says that it has him leaning back, and then all of a sudden Greedo just explodes in a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
Han gets up and walks away like a bamf.
And I love that he tweeted that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of that is an homage to the spaghetti western kind of things, where he's in a tub. The guy comes in thinking, he's in a tub. He's in a tub. I've got you, and he's being all arrogant, and then he just shoots him because he has the gun with him in the tub. Okay, we can go into realism on that, but
he had a Glock, obviously.
Yeah, so I do. So I do find that part of it is interesting. So we have a new extraction mode. So essentially being in like some of the most dangerous places, like Jabba's palace.
Yeah, and that's where you rescue the Counter-Strike people. Are they in there? Because I liked... Those are my favorite hostage.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Those are my favorite hostages ever to rescue. And like usually I don't like rescuing hostages, but the Counter-Strike hostages were hilarious because they were so scared all the time, and you should be.
Yeah,
you're the hostage.
Well, this one's not rescuing a hostage; it's getting supplies or equipment out, which they already have. It's kind of like
so it's the remains of hostages.
Yeah, maybe. They already have something similar to this with, it's kind of like Capture the Flag, where you're stealing supplies from one side and bring them to your side, and then they can steal supplies and give it to theirs. So it's basically Capture the Flag, because
that's kind of cool.
Except you don't have a flag, you have 5 flags.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
I like that idea.
So if one,
that's cool.
So it's a really good mode. So yeah, I'll tell you guys more about this when it comes out, which, yeah, it should be fun. But one thing that I thought was interesting, though, is John Boyega, along with all of us, would like to see a campaign in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, he tweeted about this and
got a response from Star Wars because
he's John Boyega.
Yeah.
Because it needs story.
He was like, hey, like, I like these little mission things. Maybe give me a reason to be doing this and a story, something. And they tweeted back and they were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Wish we'd thought of that. Like it wasn't entirely dismissive, but it was I'm glad you like our game and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was I realized that it does take more and everything. We've talked about this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. So Necropolis. Yeah. So Necropolis is coming out to PS4 and Xbox One, which I absolutely love it because I love Dark Souls.
Yes.
So happy about that.
And I like it because for those of you who don't know the difference between roguelike and roguelite,
yes.
This is going to be a roguelike, which means that you don't progress between rounds. You don't slowly build up your character. Like every run is a fresh run. And roguelites means that you're slowly building up your stats or character or whatever in the background.
So roguelite is like what is it called? The Vita game. I can't believe
Rogue Legacy?
Yeah. I don't know why.
No, that's roguelite.
That's roguelite.
Because you're building your castle and your character and equipment and stuff, and like you slowly get better.
Yeah.
So as your character gets better.
And this is roguelike.
Yes, because you don't get anything between rounds, and every run is a fresh run.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. And Binding of Isaac, roguelike, because yes, you get more items,
sure,
but the game actually gets harder as you go, and at any given, like, you don't carry an advantage from one match to the next. Every run is unique.
Yeah, which
I love that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna be right up your alley. Then,
oh yeah,
it looks really cool. I like the style as well.
The art style is pretty
really cool. Yeah. Speaking of really cool, Steam Bundle is basically adding a discount to say if you have a bundle of games and if you already own some of those games, it will discount that bundle for you.
Yes, this is one of those things that when you hear about it, it's like, well, obviously that's how it should be.
I along with a lot of people have a lot of games in my Steam library, and when I come up against a bundle and it's like, okay, wait, but I have half of these games, it's kind of hard to justify buying. Yeah. Then you have to pull out your calculator and go, okay, is this less than it is?
Am I actually saving any money here?
Because sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
If you don't realize that, so yeah.
But that's a really cool thing.
Very cool. I wonder how the aggregate goes on that. I mean, if it's percentage based on,
I would think it would be a percentage of the total cost. Yeah. So like if the bundle is $10 and it's 4 games and you already own 2 of them, then you pay $5 for the other 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We'll see how that is, because I haven't actually looked at any of the bundles yet, but I'll try to check that out this week and figure out the math on that.
Another thing I want to check out is Koi.
Yes.
First game that's come out of China. So if you guys don't know, China is famous for their video game bans. Which
and like because they have the Xbox One now, but all of the games available on the Xbox One are only available to China, for China, in China.
Yes, similar to what Nintendo has done for years. Nintendo has done this, I don't know if you know about this, in China. They have a company that is a Chinese-owned company, IQ, in China. So they could release like N64 games in China when it was illegal to do so, because they were releasing it as it was a different console. Yeah. It's an IQ console, which is an all-in-one thing controller that you plug in. Yeah. So China is interesting in this fact. Which I think the biggest reason for the laws were they were afraid of these businesses from outside the country. Yeah. Causing an issue with their economy. But so
this is fun. It looks not exciting, but it looks fun, and I will pretty much be getting this and playing it with the girls, because you're a koi in a pond, and you're trying to clean it up, and as you clean it up, then things get lighter and prettier and less tangled.
It looks adorable.
It does. And I think the girls would get a kick out of it.
Another thing I think the girls would get a kick out of is Dead Island.
Yeah. No. In a decade.
So the Dead Island Definitive Edition is going to be released, which I liked the first Dead Island. The second one was okay. They were too linear for me. I get what they were trying to do with it, but it was too linear, where even Call of Duty Zombies.
Is Dead Island the one with the chainsaws on sticks?
No.
That's the one I always get excited about, and it's never that one.
That one's Dead Rising. Yeah.
Okay.
So, which there have been 3 of, and the first one was good, and then it just got ridiculous. the whole chainsaws on sticks. I like,
you think is cool. One of my favorite is I saw a thing where he had the chainsaws on sticks, and he was driving a motorcycle through a crowd of zombies. It hasn't appealed to me to the point where I actually want to plunk money down on it.
Yeah.
But every time I see a screenshot or like a GIF or whatever of it, I'm like, that's funny.
I feel the same way about that franchise as I do the Saints Row franchise. As in, I am the hipster of these franchises. I liked them before anybody else did. So, the first Dead Rising, where there's some improv and everything, but it's not ridiculous. It's a good story, but you're a reporter plopped in a mall, which zombies and malls just work out really well.
Yeah.
And it's a really good story, and there's some normally I don't like time constraints, but it has time constraint anyways. And it just got progressively more ridiculous. Saints Row was like that.
Yeah.
The first 2 Saints Row were pretty much very close to Grand Theft Auto. Well, I'd say the first Saints Row is very close to Grand Theft Auto, where it's like, all right, you're a gangster, your gang, the Saints, is doing this stuff, and then it got more and more and more ridiculous. And I like it before that. So I like it when it was the original Saints Row. I think was just as good as the Grand Theft Auto games that were out at the same time. But I guess they were like, oh, okay, we want to do our own thing. We want to be different.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I loved 3. 3 is the only one that I've played, and I
Saints Row.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see that one is the getting to the ridiculousness where you're
well,
a very floppy. I'll call it a floppy appendage that you're hitting people with in that.
Okay, that was cool. My favorite thing is there's a mouse car or something that when you ran over people, it sucked them into the cannon, and you could fire them at other people. That was great.
Yeah.
And I was a toilet.
Yes.
All right. Now we're on to the Nintendo section. The Nintendo Direct that came out. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try to get through these fairly quickly because it's a bunch of news, and we could sit here and talk about Nintendo for hours.
We could. So Star Fox got a release date. So it is
not too far away.
Yeah, April 22nd. I've been excited about this game for quite a while. I hope that it's good because I loved Star Fox 64, and this to me seems like they're trying to bring it back to that.
So are you going to play with the 16-bit one?
I didn't. You
can turn on the 16-bit R-Wing, and that makes me happy.
I probably will.
That was cool.
It's a great franchise that I hope this gets people into playing Star Fox, because there are certain games that don't age very well, and if you give Star Fox 64 to a teenager now, it doesn't hold up.
I feel like the Super NES one ages better.
It does age better than the N64 one. But I like the N64 one better for gameplay. So Also, Mario Maker's got some updates.
Yay! We're getting keys and doors and pink coin, where if you collect all of the pink coins, then you get a key, and you can have enemies like bosses drop keys, and like this. And then the last thing is the spiked columns.
Yes.
And one of the during the direct, one of the things that they showed is, I don't remember what level it was, but there was a level where every couple of seconds, I think it was like Bowser's Castle or something, spikes would come from like all directions, and there was a safe spot where you could hide, and then you had to get to the next safe spot. And I feel like this type of thing is going to draw in people who are more creative than the auto runners and the music levels, and like, because those were fun once.
Yes.
This,
but I got rickrolled the third time.
Yeah,
that was a problem.
And those are easier to make, and I think that this particular update is reaching out to the people who want to do something with level design, who want to be creative in actual game design.
Sure.
And this has always been my hope with Mario Maker. I hope that this creates a new generation of people who are like, I can do game design.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought they could do game design before this game came out, and then you're like, oh wait, this is really hard.
Yeah.
And
it's like when I played Quake, I think it was Quake 2 when it came out, it had a level builder packaged in with it. And I was like, this is going to be so cool.
I can make awesome levels.
There's a lot of work. I thought it was going to be so easy, and it was not. So,
but if you're willing to put in the time and really think about it, some amazing things can be done. And I cannot wait to pick this up again. This update is coming out today.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, this is really exciting for me in particular. I'm looking forward to this.
Definitely. So also, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is coming out.
No. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp Effie.
Sharp Effie.
Yes. It's okay. So that's launching June 24th.
Yes.
For Courtney's birthday.
Yay.
Very nice of them. And it's like a Vocaloid thing with RPG and stuff. God bless Japan.
Yeah.
They're so weird, and I love it.
Yeah.
So that looks really, really strange, and it's coming west.
Yep. And also, Lost Reavers was revealed.
And this one has a beta.
Yeah.
2 weeks before, and that's just, hey, come try our game.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's not even a stress test. It's just like, hey, come play this thing.
Yeah, because like in 2 weeks, they're not going to be able to fix.
No.
What you're playing in the beta is what you're going to get 2 weeks later.
Especially for not being like something hugely hyped or a big IP. It's a really good way to get people to try your game, because you might really like it.
Yeah.
But you don't know you like it.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Speaking of things that I don't know if I like, Mario Color Splash Paper.
Yeah, paper. It's a thing.
You have a hammer, and you're bringing color back to the world.
So it is the Epic Mickey 2, but in Mario.
Yeah. And I do like the Paper Mario series.
I like it. I think it's interesting. I like this better than I like the mashup that they're doing of the
Paper and Mario and Lee. Yeah,
I don't like that, because it doesn't. There's not really a reason for it to happen. It's just happened.
Yeah.
Like, so story-wise, there's no reason. It's just happened. So
yeah.
So also,
speaking of things that just happened for not story reasons. Okay, so March 18th they're releasing Pokken Tournament over here. And that is also a thing.
Yes.
So if you're excited about that, you will get to play it.
Yeah. Which also, if you're excited about that, because I don't know if people are, but the Olympic Games Rio is kind of coming out.
I almost didn't include this. That's also coming out 6/24.
Yes.
Olympic Games is.
Yes.
And I almost didn't include it, but they've added rugby and then the dancing, swirling competition thing.
Oh, that's great.
And rugby with like Bowser and Wario and Sonic and Dr. Eggman.
That's kind of
cool. That sounds funny.
Usually, so I picked these games up for a few times, and felt completely ripped off by them a couple times. But that could be really good.
Apparently the thing to do is to go over to a friend's house who's playing this, like several people playing it, and you sit on the fireplace and you watch them do the swimming and the things. Because Courtney did that and was massively entertained for like an hour. Like, wasn't even paying attention to the game while we were playing anything. Just watched us sitting on the couch furiously waving the wand things around.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So here we have some exciting news that I have some commentary on.
For the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
Which I'm not excited about because I have a regular 3DS.
Yeah. So over the next couple of weeks, Mario World, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings are available now. Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart, and Earthbound are releasing on March 24th, and then April 14th, Donkey Kong Country 2, Super Metroid, which has not been available on any handheld up to this point, and Link to the Past are available then.
Yeah.
I was upset about this, and then I reached out to people who had played, and because I was like, come on, if the PSP could run Nintendo, Super Nintendo emulation just fine, 3DS surely can handle this.
Yeah.
But several of the people who have played Super Nintendo emulation on the 3DS say that it doesn't run well, and they've added, and I don't understand that, and that is honestly my biggest problem with the 3DS. It's my
biggest problem with Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nintendo puts out products, and they're not. The hardware is not what it should be for the generation.
Yeah,
which I'm hoping will turn around.
The price. The Wii U is still $300. It's $50 cheaper than the PS4 and the Xbox One. If you get a bundle or a sale, like. But still, after 2 years, you should be able to bring the price down.
I thought it was $250.
No. $300. I saw it in the store when I went in for the Pokemon Day thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, that is why? I don't get it.
No.
Anyway, so new 3DS only. And that's kind of upsetting, but if it doesn't run well, don't sell me a thing, because they're not going to refund you.
Yeah. This is another example of confusing titles, though. And I can buy this, so wait, no, I can't buy it because,
Yep.
Irritating.
Azure Gunvolt Striker 2, though, will be available to play on any 3DS.
Yes, it will.
And that game was fun. I highly recommend playing in 8-bit mode.
Really?
Because it's a pretty game. It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if this one. Okay, if you have Azure Gunvolt Striker 1, then play that one in 8-bit. If you don't, it's on sale. Maybe it's on sale as of this recording for $10. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. We also got a release date for Hyrule Warriors Legends, which is on 3DS.
Linkle!
Which I love, and I haven't seen anything on this, but I would like, if they're doing this, let me know. I would like Linkle on the Wii U version.
Yeah.
So just give me a free DLC pack that adds that.
Yeah.
Because the people that are buying this on a 3DS may or may not be the people who are buying it on a Wii U.
Yeah.
It's a different environment. So I would like that to be added there. I told Whitney about Linkle, and she was all excited, and then she realized, it's not on the Wii U version.
Yeah.
It's only on the handheld version. So she was...
I want Linkle to be everywhere. Yes. I want Linkle to be an option when I start the Zelda game for Wii U or NX. Like, I just want that to be an option from here on out.
That'd be great. I mean...
No, we're not getting it.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a thing, and I continue tweeting and talking to, filling out surveys, and tell them, hey, this is a really cool thing you've done. We appreciate it. Please keep pushing that out, because my girls want to play with princesses and female characters, and they want to see that, and that needs to be there because girls play video games.
Yes,
How about that?
Yeah.
And they need to be represented.
Yeah. And to me, Link is androgynous enough that you're not going to change much.
It's not that. You don't even have to change the voice.
You don't. It'd be perfect.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bravely Second demo is coming out on March 10th, so tomorrow, or in the past, depending on when you watch this. Tomorrow, today, or the past. And it's going to have a standalone story, kind of like the Final Fantasy 15 demo did, and which is cool. And then if you play that, you also get bonuses that transfer into the main game that are coming out April 15th. And that is so cool. Bravely Second is awesome, and we haven't gotten to play it yet. But from what I've heard, they've maintained all the things that made Bravely Default awesome. Yeah. Which is they just stayed in the turn-based, and it's JRPG, and this is the game that we've made, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So. It reminded me of another thing from Dead Rising. I believe it was Dead Rising 2 had something to the effect of this that I believe you had to pay for, but it was essentially a prequel. Of like a couple hours of gameplay, but it was a prequel that then led into the real game. So
yeah, I really like that
backstory.
Yeah, I would like to see more of that.
Yeah. So we also got some quick sneak peeks of Dragon Quest VII.
Yes,
and the
which
new
is finally coming over. Monster Hunter X.
Yeah,
is what they got. I want to say last summer.
Oh,
and it's being renamed Generations and being brought here this summer.
That's dumb.
And I'm sorry, localization doesn't take that long.
Nope. Especially for Monster Hunter. It's all text.
Yeah, it's all text, and it's also like when it's still very much you buy your stuff from cats.
Yeah.
They didn't change it or make it. Yeah. So people who are into that in the US and Europe and Canada and Mexico and wherever else this game is coming, they are interested in playing pretty much the game that you released, so just bring it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of bringing out games that people are actually interested in, I still stand by. I think this is actually going to be a decent game, but it's not what people are wanting. So we're talking about Metroid Prime Federation Force. So if you guys don't know, Metroid Prime Federation Force is the new Metroid game that is not a Metroid game.
It's in the Metroid universe.
Correct.
And Samus is available as a little literal trophy in a case somewhere. Yeah. And they put a bunch of people in her power armor, and you're playing squad-based things and sports ball and shooting pirates.
I think this is going to be more interesting and more entertaining than people are giving it credit for. I'm just saying, I'm throwing out there, play devil's advocate here.
I'm not saying that this is going to be a bad game, but where's our... Okay, this would be okay if we were still getting Samus's adventures.
Yeah, and we're not. That's I agree. That's
because the Pokken tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is fighting combat things, that's not what anybody plays Pokemon for.
Yeah.
But they have continued to, and they are releasing new Pokemon stuff. Yeah. That's why nobody complains about it.
I get that. The news story here was Nintendo America tweeted, Metroid Prime Federation Force details the struggle between the Galactic Federation and the infamous space pirates.
Yes.
Yep.
And I also
sports ball.
Yeah, and sports ball. I also learned that apparently you can disable the ability to see how many times a YouTube video has been downvoted, because they had to do that. Because can
you disable just downvotes, not upvotes?
No, it's everything. It just takes it away, and it's like, this video has been viewed this many times.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about anything else. And comments were also disabled because immediately when it came out, Kotaku got a couple of screenshots of how fast it was getting downvoted, and I think like 7,000 downvotes in 12 minutes or something.
Jeez.
Like,
yeah.
People and people are really upset with this, and like you said, it could be a great game, but it's
the problem. The fact that we're not getting proper Metroid is
the problem. Yeah. And I don't want to do squad thing. Like, Metroid Prime is one of the great examples of a first-person shooter with ambience.
Yeah.
And like when you go into that world, you feel alone. And
now they're not.
And now you have a squad of miners who find pirates on a planet when they're going for.
Yep. So that's gonna come out late spring.
Right. But, we still don't have an official date on that.
But in other news of things that I think will actually be interesting, so Kirby's Planet Robobot looks really
Planet Robobot looks like fun.
Yeah, I love Kirby.
Yeah, and now he's getting a mech. 'Cause that's what Kirby always needed, was a mech.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna play it because the Kirby games are so much fun.
They are.
So, very different though.
And this one has a bunch of really cool stuff that we haven't seen in other games. One of them is Kirby Clash, which is it's mandatory 4-player co-op, and if you don't have friends to play with, then it will put in bots for you.
Okay.
And you get an experience and leveling system, and you're fighting bosses. And you only have to have one copy of the game for everybody to get to play.
That's fantastic.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Very cool.
And if you have with certain amiibos, you can tap them and you can give him like Mario's Fireball or Link's Sword or other things that they only showed those two. But yeah, so that's coming out 6/10, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah. I like the amiibo bit of that because Kirby getting those different aspects of other characters is really cool. Yeah.
And then a couple other really quick things.
Yeah.
The Super Famicom 3DS, which looks so cool, and I would absolutely buy one of these, but it's not coming out over here.
No.
And that's annoying. May 5th, Europe is getting Fire Emblem Fates, and they're getting all 3 of them at the same time because we're still waiting on Conquest. There's
remember. I get them confused.
Birthrise. Revelations is the one that we still don't have yet. But all 3 of them are going to be released May 5th in Europe.
Yeah.
And then if you played Solitaire and you were a jockey and you wanted to play it on the go, and that's a game that you've been waiting for, congratulations, your day has come.
Can't you just play Solitaire on...
Yeah, but you're not horse racing.
No, I'm not horse racing.
So Pocket Card Jockey is like you're playing a simplified version of Solitaire, getting the cards into the columns, and the more you do it, the faster your horse runs, and then you can, like, if you have an entire stack, then you can do it for a super
kind of burst through. That's kind of cool.
It looks so dumb.
Yeah.
And awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Super Meat Boy
is coming to Wii U,
thankfully,
which is so weird because Binding of Isaac is one of the 2 new 3DS games exclusives, and now they're getting Super Meat Boy. Yep. And so that was fun. So that's the Nintendo Direct thing. It was a bunch of news, and honestly more Wii U news than I expected.
Yeah, because I thought they were kind of dropping.
And everybody is like, because
you're waiting for an X.
They already I understand that they needed to be like, okay, we're doing mobile games, but we're not just going to mobile. I understand that there would have been fallout.
Yeah,
they should not have said anything about the NX because that's all they've said, and like there's been a bunch of stuff that leaked. We'll talk a little bit about. Let's go ahead and talk about that now. NX rumors. We don't usually talk about rumors, but Gino is pretty reliable on this stuff.
Yes.
And
a track record of being reliable.
Yeah. And
so some of the interesting things, essentially, Gino leaked a bunch of aspects of the NX, and some of them I found really cool. Some of them interesting. HDMI wireless dongles.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So if you guys haven't seen that technology, it's you plug HDMI, you can plug an HDMI dongle into your HDMI port for your TV or your receiver, and it will stream to that.
Yeah.
So taking out at least one cord from your giant home
You're
theater.
welcome.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Another thing they mentioned was being able to Bluetooth to different devices. So being able to use your phone to control something, or maybe get a little notification if you get a text message. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that. Or
a lot of this stuff we like, is kind of, here's things that it'll do, but we don't entirely know like how it's going to be implemented or stuff. The stuff's down in the link, and you can go there and look at all the things.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're interested in, because there's a full page of just things and hints and things like it looks friendly, but unlike what most people believe a Nintendo device typically look like. What does that mean?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah,
but it is interesting, unconfirmed stuff, and I wanted to kind of let you know.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a thing. Go and check it out, and
apparently developers are saying that it's really easy to program on. So
rock on.
Cool with that. Yeah.
Speaking of programming things and stuff coming elsewhere.
Yeah.
Palmer Luckey said that the Oculus Rift will support Macs, quote, when Apple makes a good computer. Which I thought was hilarious, because Macs are great for some things. Yeah. Gaming is not one of them, because their GPU processors are just not powerful enough.
Yeah. If you're doing anything other than gaming, Macs are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ridiculous.
This is from 2007,
yeah,
and it's still running.
So it's a 9-year-old.
Windows computers don't keep running.
Nope.
So,
well, it would be,
and I don't have to mess with it.
Bloatware, and it would be really rough.
Yeah,
yeah. So another thing that I don't think is rough, I think is really cool. No Man's Sky got its release date.
Yes, coming out June 21st.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a full price $60 game, and some people were like, ah. And then
if this is what it's supposed to be, $60 is worth it.
The other thing is the devs came out this week and they said that one of their biggest disappointments in their product is that the full game will never be seen, because even if everybody on the planet started playing it when it came out, it would take 70-something years to explore the entire universe that has been generated. Yeah. And I was like, if that's your biggest regret with a game, yes, that is worth $60. And I really hope that this is that the gameplay loop is as exciting and fun as it can be.
Well, it's a very ambitious game.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying if it's everything that they said it's going to be and it's $60, I'm fine with that. It's completely worth it. Another thing we're not really fine with though, Shadow Moses got canceled.
Yeah, and they didn't actually come out and say Konami shut us down, but
they're basically saying
they said, due to circumstances beyond our control, this project is no longer able to continue forward.
Yeah.
Sorry, bye.
This project was remaking Metal Gear Solid, which arguably is the best. Yeah.
Yes. Not arguably.
It's my favorite.
If you want to argue, please. Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
I will argue the heck out of that.
Remaking Metal Gear Solid, which
in Unreal 4.
Which was my first game playing Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And Snake Eater is really good and everything, but no, Metal Gear Solid
Shadow Moses, and it was so pretty, and they had done some really amazing work with it.
Yeah.
And they said when they started this project, they're like, hey, at some point we're going to need Konami's blessing on it. And
they apparently got the opposite.
Yep. So that's sad, and rest in peace, Shadow Moses.
Yeah, that would have been really great.
Yeah.
Something really interesting. Yeah, I was going to say
GameStop. Yeah, GameStop is doing a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Because what they've done up until this point is they've had their stores where you go in and buy stuff, and then they had like their online warehouse thing.
Yeah.
And they're introducing, as of now, if they have the item in a store, you can order it and they will ship it from that store to you.
Yeah.
And that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of weird things that get traded in.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And like a lot of times, like a lot of times I'll go to a store and I'll be like, hey, do you have this thing? And they'll be like, well, okay, we don't have it, but this, and that's my Vita.
Yeah.
My first generation Vita, because I went into a store and I was like, hey, I want a first gen Vita, because me personally, I feel like it's more solid, and I just like it better.
Sure.
And other people want the other one, and to be able to get exactly the thing that you want, that's happy.
It's great for options. Yeah.
So this is really cool, and it also moves them one step closer to being able to stay up with the digital world that we live in now.
Yeah. I think that is going to help them to diversify, because there's enough of a market for the physical that's going to stay there. It's not going away, but being able to do this adds viability, because it may be something niche that a lot of people aren't going after.
Yeah.
But if you can sell it, it doesn't sit on a shelf, that's fantastic.
Well, but like it's also for people who are after niche stuff.
Yes.
Like Atlas games are wonderful, but they don't ship enough of them.
Yes.
And Atlas is one of the few things that I like to have physical, because they have weird box art, and they still include
manuals.
They still include manuals and art and stuff, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. So yeah, this is a cool thing. I appreciate this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the bit of news for you this week, but a lot of news for you this week. So let us know if you have anything you feel about those news things, and is there something that you've been trying to find at GameStop that you can't find, or any other place that you'd like to see this kind of option to ship from Nebraska?
Comment anything.
Yeah,
we'll comment back.
We probably will. Have a good one.
See, I was trying to fill time while
I was looking
you
up something
did that.
completely different. Mario